Greetings, everybody, and good afternoon, and welcome here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So we're here with the episode we do every week around midday, which is this week. So this week, put together, it took me a bit of time because there was a few things I wasn't sure I wanted to do, kind of mull them over a bit before I decided to either include them or discontinue them. So we have on this show, for those people who are new to the show, I usually talk about the content for the channel for the week, what's up and coming in the regular shows throughout the week, plus whatever particular series that we're running. Plus, this week I'm going to give you a brief preview for what next month's series is going to be. And also, if I have to go back and do any corrections, I usually do that first. So we'll start with that. Had a few episodes that came out fairly late, well past the time that I had scheduled. And it's just because of my throat, basically. Sometimes I'm hacking and weaving. I can't even find my drink. Where did I put it? Oh, here it is. Sometimes I'm hacking and weaving so much I can't sit still for 2 minutes to do the video, so I have to put it off until that goes away. However, it seems to be getting better. So this episode is number 132. Yeah, we're moving right up there, right? Hard to believe that many episodes have been done on this particular episode. So normally what I do is I go through, do my corrections, and then talk about what's going to come up on the channel for the regular shows that we do every week. So the first one that normally comes up after this one, of course, and technically speaking, this one isn't really the first one because we did do a series episode this morning. So this is my second episode of the week. If you're a person that likes to be exact, yeah. But for me, I tend to think of this as the episode that I do first that starts the week off, so I'll stick with that. So the next episode up is Commonalities Compared. This is an episode in which one of my subscribers, Ben, chooses a couple of rock commonalities, and I talk about them. Basically, that's what it is. So usually it's either two bands or two guitarists or two, maybe two album covers or two albums or something that has something in common with each other, and then I talk about them. So this week he's chosen two bands. One I'm reasonably familiar with, the other one not so much. The two bands are the Traveling Wilburys. This is the George Harrison-led group of guys. And then the Highwaymen, which I know not very much about, but we will do a comparison of the both. I will be listening to that stuff as soon as I'm done this to kind of get a feel for the Highwaymen more than the Wilburys. So that will come out at 8 o'clock tonight. The next episode after that is look back at a classic rock album. Do this show every Monday, unless I'm sick, of course. And I've chosen to do something a little bit unusual here. I thought about this for a while, actually. Just going to move my mic up here a bit. I wasn't going to include this because I don't really think of this as a rock album, although it does have a fair amount of rock elements to it. It's got a lot of pop to it. There's some reggae elements to it. There's actually some bluesy stuff to it as well. It's not an artist that you'll find on here, on this channel anywhere, but I'm going to do this because I really like this album a lot. It's probably my favorite album by this artist, and I like a lot of the stuff on here, especially some of the more bluesy and reggae stuff. And we're talking about Rihanna's Music of the Sun. This is her debut album. I love this woman's voice. I think it's absolutely spectacular. Don't care much for the stuff she's done in recent years, but the first 2 or 3 albums were very good, and so we're going to do this one anyways. So that will be my look back at a classic rock album featuring Rihanna's Music of the Sun, her debut album. So next up is going to be favorites. This is a show that I usually do a top 5 or top 10 or maybe a top 25, do an album ranking or something of that nature. This week we're going to do something that I decided, I had thought about it, and I've seen other people do stuff like this, and I've always wanted to try and do it. I may actually have done something similar to this, but I don't think it's actually and an exact thing that I've done like this before. So this will be my 5 albums that are stinkers that come from bands that I love. You know, there are just about every band that I love has at least one stinker of an album, and so we're going to do that. I'm going to pick 5 out of the five of the bands I love. And so that will come out Wednesday at 8 p.m. Now, for those of you who know that normally follow me, know that Tuesday night was my mini-series night, but that series ended last week. And I'm going to discuss what Ben wants to do next with that channel, with that night, if he has another series he would like to do. And we'll probably take this week off from that and then come back at it the following week. Okay, so the next show up comes out Thursday at 8, is a show that is bi-weekly. So I have 2 shows that I alternate, basically. I have Big Surprises, which I did last week, and Not What We Hoped For, which I'm going to do this week. And the album I've chosen to do may surprise a few people, but it's going to be this album, Crystal Ball by Styx. Yeah, I like this album a lot, but I had expectations of it that it did not reach. So we will be talking about that this week and why that is. Next up, and that will come out Thursday at 8, of course. Friday. Now, last Friday I was supposed to do a live stream on this particular topic, but I was hacking too much, and I thought there's no way I'm going to be able to get through half an hour or 45 minutes of talking with the throat the way it is. So I just decided not to do the video. But this week I'm going to make a strong attempt to get it done. And of course the topic for this live Into the Prog Verse is 5 of the most important prog albums that I think had a great deal of influence on the prog community. So I picked 5 of them out. So we'll do that for Friday night's live stream coming at 8 o'clock. Saturday we're going to do a live experience. I've collected a fair number of live albums over the last several months, and I've done a couple of these, so I'm going to do one more because I had another one in mind for this. Now I got no room for this book here. But I decided I'd listen to this when I got it, and actually quite familiar with this album. I've had bits of it, pieces of it on cassette. My friend taped some of it, then I found more and taped that on. But I never got the whole thing until now. But I'm very familiar with all the live versions of these songs. And we're going to do Seconds Out by Genesis. It's an album I've been waiting to do for a long time. Considered their best live album, I think. Some absolute killer stuff on here, so I'll be looking forward to talking about this, and that will come out probably around 4 o'clock on Saturday, as what we call a one-off show. And then the last show of the week is What's New. Last week we did the Dream Theater album. Was kind of a last-minute change. I had thought about doing Hawkwind's live at the Albert Hall, but I think I'll be buying that album, so I think I'm going to do that as a live experience as well. So I bumped it for the Dream Theater album, so we did that one last week. This week we're going to do one that's kind of an unusual group for me, kind of a punky, electronic punky, post-punky, whatever you want to call them, band called Squid, and the album is called Coward. I've listened to this album a little bit. I don't think it's well within my wheelhouse. I don't think it's in my wheelhouse at all, but it's just, for some reason, I kind of like the album, so we're going to do that one for this week for What's New, and that will be Squid's Cowards. So that will come out Saturday at 8 o'clock. Okay, so we've done talking now about the channel shows that we do every week. We also have the series that's going on this month, for the month of February, with 28 rock albums with a love or heart theme in the album cover somewhere. I've picked out 7 bands for this. I think this is going to be interesting. Most of these albums I do not own, and at least half, or maybe more than half, I haven't really listened to in entirety. Anyways, bits and pieces of most of them. So, and one of them was one that somebody's already mentioned in their comment section. So I'm looking forward to this. This will be a strong week, I think. So 7 albums coming out, including the one that went today. And I hope to see you for that series. So the other series that will be coming up for March is, so I originally had a couple of series in mind for March. I had moved them both back because of this series that somebody wanted. That's somebody, the series we did last month that Ben suggested. So I bumped everything back one and put the one that we're doing now in for February. I had a couple in mind for March, but I decided to back them off and go with this one that I had an idea of, because as soon as I came up with the idea of doing it in other channels, we're doing it as well. So, there's every once in a while people got to have the same ideas, right? It happens. So we'll be doing the series will be, I haven't got a title for it yet, but basically what we'll be talking about is those bands that put out 2 albums in a year that were really good. So my favorite, I guess it'll end up being my favorite 31 albums, my favorite 31 double album years for bands, or something to that effect. So we'll be talking obviously about bands that put out 2 great albums in one year. I guess that's a good way of putting it. I'll have a title for it when it comes about, and that will be the series we're running for March. This should be a fairly easy one about coming up with bands, because there are so many bands that have had double great albums for me. So anyways, that will be the series that's coming up for the month of March. I haven't decided to do any other mini-series at this point. I want to wait to see what Ben has in mind for Tuesday. I know Ben also wants to do another Battle of the Bands thing. I've just got to figure out where that might fit in. We may actually do something like that on a Tuesday, but I'm not quite ready for that yet. I think I'd rather wait until the springtime for something like that. But anyways, we'll get back to you on that, and I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, please hit the like and subscribe. That's much appreciated. And if you want to be notified of of the content on the show, please hit the notification bell above my head. Any comments that you want to make, or any suggestions you want to make, or any albums that you want to hear about, if I'm able to do them, I will. So take care and have yourself a good day, and goodbye.